You are what you watch. Hello, good evening. My name is Erik and welcome to our program. As we begin this program, I guess you've all seen what's happened this week. We've had the declaration of the President and the Vice President. And we've heard media come close and ask all the many questions. But before we go there, which is going to be our topic for tonight, I'd like to bring into the forefront some idiosyncrasies we Filipinos seem to have. One, for example, itong mga practices natin, from the point of view, for example, may dalawa nagsasalita, pupunta ka sa kalagitnaan, excuse me, gaganon-ganon, which is rather funny and crude. The ability, or what we call our hospitality, especially the less fortunate, when they're going to eat, kainan na, papasok sa loob ng kwarto, parati kang tatawagan, na, alika, kumain ka na ba? Alika, kain ka dito. This practice is not only in the province, it's right here in the city. We seem to practice this as, as if it's just part of what we are. We go to Mass and say that we're probably the biggest and only Roman Catholic country in Southeast Asia, and yet we have the highest number of televangelists on the many Christian philosophies that seem to be being brought to the Filipino people. We have so many funny practices, like, alam mo, sa traffic, you are in the car and you're driving, and you just sit there and you know you're causing traffic in the back and you're being very inconsiderate. Pero ang style mo dyan, patay, mali. Now, in the last 3 years, we have seen the political turbulence in Malacanang and elsewhere. Case in point would be NBN, ZTE, and all the different issues that came out with Macapagal Arroyo. But now that it's at the end, here we see this idiosyncrasy in practice. Parang dumbfounded, parang here we are, we're extending to the new president, trying to be nice in every way, either be for the inauguration or for the June 12 Independence Day event. It's as if, parang patay mali, wala naman nangyari. I'm trying to be nice to you. What's wrong with you? But ayaw mo mag-extend. Di ba parang ganun po nangyayari? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about issues that pertain particularly to that funny trait. We have a new president coming in who we all well know was opposition to the sitting administration. The sitting administration is leaving at the end of the month. The new administration that's coming in Noynoy Aquino was very, very thick, in the thick of what we call the opposition. Now, one of the campaign promises, I remind you, is they're going to go after Arroyo and all supposedly go on a witch hunt if necessary. Of course, the sitting administration and all their people are like looking the other way as if, wala naman nangyari in the last 6 years or the last 3 years. But kayo, ganun. Parang ganun nangyayari. With us, we don't have really guests. What we did today is I asked Erik Espina to stay behind to do a show with us. He's going to do the next show right after this, which is Republica of Erik. His guest there would be Butch Valdez. But in this show, he's not a guest. He is a resource person. Together with every Friday, we've got Gil Santos. Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for being here.
Hi,
and thanks, Erik, for staying behind.
Of course.
So we can hear your 2 cents, Yeah. Alam mo, when you're host, ladies and gentlemen, when you play the host, kailangan minsan, or most of the time, kailangan pagbibigyan mo yung mga iniimbita mong mga bisita para sa mga bahay natin, alagaan natin kung may bisita pumapasok. Pareho din yun pag tayo nag-host sa telebisyon, pagbibigyan mo naman, you may be argumentative, but politely argumentative.
Yes.
But give way. So, gentlemen, let's go to the issues. Gil called me up the other night after watching on GNN. He was disgusted. How come none of our crew went up and asked a question in the plenary after he was declared president?
Exactly.
We had all the media. Diba your points? And
yes, my point. That was exactly my point, because that was the highlight of the entire proceeding.
Exactly.
You've got to get the new the president-elect's vision, his mission, his thinking, what's he going to do next, what are the priorities. But you see, I was really disappointed to know, because I followed the whole thing, that
the questions of all the other media was not exactly there either.
No.
The mga questions are all very on top,
That's right, the inane ones. I think what we should be able to talk about...
Maninigarilyo ba kayo sa first car? Ano ba naman yun?
Slambok.
Parang gano'n nangyari.
Now, what everybody is talking about now, especially among those who captains of industry and those people who think the academe is, what next? What are we going...
Exactly the title of our topic, for
now,
this evening.
people tell me, no, there's nothing next yet because he has not said anything yet, really. No, I said, what we should do is follow what he has been saying over the last 9 days. Then you would know exactly. You can second guess logically, not exactly, but you can second guess logically what's coming up.
Let me amend that. Not the 9 days, but even during his campaign.
Okay, yeah.
Because that is where you create the mandate of the people.
Yes, all right.
That is where you ask their permission that this is what I intend to do, and that if you vote for me, then that is what I will do.
And the first thing he was perceived to have said was he was going after corruption.
That was the campaign promise, like you said.
Walang corruption, walang mahirap.
Walang mahirap.
Yan ang sinasabi niya, no? So, the question now is he really going to do that? But the point is, there are so many things that he has to do simultaneously. And the first thing that must come really first is the economy. Because without the economy, you're not going to go anywhere.
Nagtatanong Ang mga tinanong ngayon, let's see, very quickly, review muna natin yung media. The finer points of media that have been sensationalized. General Bangit. Anong gagawin kay General Bangit? Everybody has headlines. Parating, what are you gonna do with Bangit? And Bangit's feeling bad.
Or will you get married while in office?
Are you going to get married in office? Who cares? And Bangit was put there only March 9. Ano ba naman? Di ba only 2 months ago?
This is a reportorial analysis. This is not a substantive analysis.
But why
you're just reporting it? It's an events reportage without going into what he is thinking and how he will
but that's precisely
confront.
That's precisely our point, Eric, because in broadcast, you're doing it in real time. You don't have the luxury of time like you would read a paper and you have the weekend to be able to do the analysis yourself. So this time, I believe media, broadcast media
should ask the hard question.
Yes, ask the hard question, analytical in effect.
But they're not doing it.
Well,
hindi, yung mga tanong nga, si Chris ba may position sa gobyerno? Kamag-anak, may bago ngayon, kaklase Inc. Di ba, may lumabas pang ganun parang very light nga, very trivial.
There is also qualitative media. You have to consider qualitative media because you might be popular, but the questions that you ask are not exactly directed to the right issues, to elicit
Is it because media is playing honeymoon with the new president to be because he's a darling of Channel 2 and because of Chris, Cory, I guess, a darling to ABS-CBN.
That's all part. That's
all part of the whole
culture.
The culture, the euphoric type of sensation and emotion, and what they're really trying to bring out media. So no one's asking the real, different, hard questions. Yung mga Amerikano, nakailan ba kayo sa Smartmatic? Walang ganunan, ano? Kayo ba, andyan, ano ba ginawa nyo dito? Ba't ganito nangyari? Can we share the technology or whatever, di ba? Hindi.
But what is really outstanding, or what stands out, really, if you come to think of it, is, number one, the Philippine population is going to hit 100 million by 2013. This is 2010. That's only 3 years. And Noynoy would still be president at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And you're very sure of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Pinay said, pwede siya matulog na mahimbing.
You're very sure about that? Because people from UP, former, saying that they will last for only a few months. I don't know.
Well, the vice president guaranteed that he will.
No, it's our culture. I do believe, really, that he'll be there. So, what is he going to do now to be able to get, number one, food security is going to be quite a problem.
Very important.
Because
the way he's answered it, Gil, from what, if I can recall, properly based on print media anyway, the answer to that question as far as the economy is, he directly answered it by saying that he cannot qualify or give qualitative answers simply because he needs to identify the true state of the nation. He does not trust the sitting administration and the reports that have been coming out. Sabi niya nga, diretso, di ba? I saw that, I think, in one of the TV shows, and he was saying, hindi, paano natin